Right, let's turn our attention now to more touring cars, which is the Transatlantic Trophy for P66 touring cars. And the race is going to last for 45 minutes. And there is a mandatory pit stop during the course of it, but we've never been told what details of that pit stop are. Anyway, it'll happen when it happens. So the car's now coming out of the final corner with, on the front row, the number 166 Ford Mustang being started by Rob Fenn, and alongside him is the Alfa Romeo of Olivier Hart, number 11. But the power of the Mustang inevitably takes it into the lead, but Olivier Hart not getting left behind very much. And then in third place, we've got a Falcon and a Mustang running side by side, number 9 Craig Davis and Julian Thomas in the yellow Ford Falcons. They come into your sight for the first time.
And the Alfa takes the lead, you'll be glad to know, into Village for the first time. It's Olivier Hart who sneaks by the first of the Mustangs. Craig Davis has moved his Mustang up into third place, and I think that's Andy Wolff in fourth place as they come out through Aintree. So the Alfa leads from the 166 Fenn Mustang, from the Craig Davis Mustang, and then the Cortina of Andy Wolff, number 13.
Well, a huge traffic jam wending its way onto the Wellington Straight with the Alfa in front, followed by the 2 red Mustangs, and then the first of the Lotus Cortinas. So up to Luffield, Olivier Hart. Well, we saw how well his father drives, and Olivier is no slouch either. And the Alfa well suited the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit, but whether it can stay there all the way through remains to be seen. So in second place and third place, the 2 Ford Mustangs of, after their good start, the Rob Fenn car and Craig Davis in the number 9 car. There is number 166, Rob Fenn. That's the car that Jake Hill, another BTCC driver, will be taking over. First of the Lotus Cortinas in fourth place, and Julian Thomas and Falcon in fifth place. Cars passing you, Alistair.
Yes, great battle for the lead. It's the Alfa still leading 2 Mustangs, but there's a Cortina, and that'd be Andy Wolff trying to go through on the inside of one of the Mustangs. And just to report, I'm afraid the Stig has retired on the first lap. Stig Blomqvist pulled off at the loop.
And also we've had a coming together at Copse, I caught briefly on camera. So if you're watching at Copse, you know what's happened. Into the lead has gone the Craig Davis Ford Mustang. So number 9, Craig Davis, has taken the lead down Hanger Straight. Olivier Hart latching onto the tail of the Mustang. The incident at Copse certainly involves 1 damaged Lotus Cortina and a damaged Ford Mustang as well. And that may well require, well, either the safety car at least, I would have thought. Anyway, the cars come through to complete the first lap with the number 9 Ford Mustang, Craig Davis, leading the way. And the safety car goes out, and it could be a fairly lengthy safety car, this, I'm afraid. It's a shame. This time it's not because of a car getting stuck in gravel. 2 cars have crashed, and one has ended up on the edge of the circuit, as we'll see as the cars eventually reach Copse Corner behind the safety car. Well, there we are now. 3 cars are involved, the Mustang and 2 Cortinas. 133 and 47 are involved. That's Martin Stroman, number 47, 133. I thought it was going to be a non-starter, but in fact it did start, and I'm afraid it hasn't got very far. Number 133, the Alberto Vella, David Robinson car. Don't have the... Here's a replay of what happened coming up. I think somebody probably got out of shape. Yes, it's we're part way through the incident there. It was as though 17 had spun, but whether it spun on its own, that's Dave Bartram. So Dave Bartram on his first outing with his brand new Ford Mustang. And if I'm not, yeah, the lights on the safety car are out, aren't they? But the pit window is open. So the pit window opening just as the safety car is coming in. So will anybody think it's a good idea to come in now, or will they carry on racing for a couple of laps before they do come in, which they could do? So down the pit lane goes the safety car, but nobody else seems to be following it. Oh yes, there we are. We've got, this could well be Yeah, I think that probably number 166 has come in. That'll be Rob Fenn to hand over to Jake Hill, who was one of the stars of last year's Silverstone Classic with the Lotus Elan. Jake, a BTCC driver these days, and Rob Fenn keen to get him into the car as soon as possible. So we are already seeing a few pit stops, but two cars that haven't stopped are the number 9 Ford Mustang of Craig Davis and Olivier Hart in the Alfa Romeo, and they're back with you, Alistair.
They are indeed, yes, up to Village, and it's as close as ever. The Alfa sneaking up behind the Mustang in the almost completely dry, I would say now, apart from offline, completely dry track. So you'd think that the Mustang would have a big advantage, but it's side by side through Aintree, but Craig Davis takes the line and holds the lead, but the Alfa is right under the boot and getting a great slipstream, but the Mustang pulling away on power.
It's just wonderful to see the an Alfa going so well as this one does. And now coming into Brooklands, Olivier Hart goes to the inside line and takes the lead, but can he hang on to it? Craig Davis giving him just about enough room, and the Alfa goes into the lead. So Olivier Hart now in front. Craig Davis in second place, and they're being caught by Julian Thomas in the Ford Falcon in the yellow New York taxi. Ford Falcon there in third place. Through Woodcote, the Mustang has the power, goes very wide there. Craig Davis, I think, has been able to power himself back into the lead. Yes, he has. So the Mustang leads once more. Olivier Hart right on his tail, though, through Copse Corner. Probably close up again when he comes back into your sight and heads into Maggots. Alistair, here they come, over the brow.
Up over the hill through Maggots, and the Mustang's got the power up the hill, but once they come into the braking area, the Alfa closes right up. Olivier Hart is so much quicker, so much later on the brakes, the lighter car, and looks to go through on the inside at the exit of Beckett's, but no room there. And look at Julian Thomas in the taxi, closing up now, and of course he hands over to the very quick Callum Lockie. Julian, almost as quick these days.
That's right. So yes, he will be handing over to Callum Lockie, but whether the Falcon's going to go much quicker than it is at the moment, it's coming up alongside and going round and taking the second place away from the Alfa, but Olivier Hart comes back and they go side by side into Stowe Corner. The Falcon on the outside line, the Alfa on the inside, and Olivier Hart fights back. He's not going to give it very easily. So the Alfa there in second place. Craig Davis stays out. Julian Thomas then not in second place by the end of the lap. In fact, almost back on terms with the Ford Mustang is Olivier Hart in the Alfa Romeo. In fourth place, we've got Andy Wolff in the number 113 Cortina, but I think he's now coming to the pits. So up into fourth place is Benji Hetherington in the number 999 Ford Mustang. Sean Balfe has gone into the pits, number 34. And Tom Ingram has stayed out, I think, in the number 4 Lotus Cortina, and has moved up into 6th place.
Three leaders into Village. Craig Davis still leads the Alfa of Olivier Hart, and the Falcon in third place of Julian Thomas come through the left-hander, and the Alfa is very much more on terms with Craig Davis. Julian seems to have lost a little bit of ground on that half lap as they go down the Wellington Straight once again. Then a great battle for what will be 5th place, which is led at the moment by the Cortina of Marco Attard. Oh, sorry, Tom Ingram, isn't it? Tom Ingram's opened up in that car, so that's a great effort from Tom, who's never driven anything like this before, I don't believe.
Not before this year. He's driven this car before, but this is the first time. This is his first year in the car, but he has raced it once or twice already. Brands Hatchie was out in it. So the fastest lap set by Julian Thomas last time around. But Craig Davis it is who still leads through Woodcote. Olivier Hart in the Alfa Romeo in second place, and the Ford Falcon in third place. Though that Mini behind isn't in fourth place. Benji Hetherington in the number 999. That's the fourth place car, the blue and white Ford Mustang, belching flame. And then behind that, we've got Sean Balfe, Lotus Cortina, and more Ford Mustangs. And amongst them is Tom Ingram in the number 4 Lotus Cortina. You've got the leaders past you, I think, already.
Yes, they're just leaving Beckett's. Same order, but Olivier Hart, as always, closes right up through the sweeps of Beckett's. The 4th place Mustang held up a little bit, just waiting to get past that Mini. And then we've got this great battle led by Tom Ingram, who's coming under pressure from the Burton Mustang right behind.
I'm going to have a stab at giving you the position of Jake Hill. He's in 42nd place at the moment, Jake Hill, but fear not, he's going to be able to recover from that when others make their pit stops. So Julian Thomas right on the tail of the Alfa Romeo as they came into club corner, but the Alfa with the better handling is well clear of the Falcon by the time he gets out of the corner. And as they go over the line, then Craig Davis leads by 0.898 of a second over Olivier Hart in the Alfa Romeo. The gaps first to second and second to third, just about the same, I would say, as they now set off on lap 7. Back with you, Alistair.
Yes, up to another tight section of the circuit, all very sideways for Olivier Hart on braking for Village. That gives Julian Thomas a bit of a helping hand to get a little bit closer. But this tight section of the circuit really does favour the Alfa. But now we're onto the power again, and down the Wellington Straight, Craig Davis's car starts to pull away straight away as they go under the bridge down towards Brooklands. And then we've got this train of cars coming through the loop now, still led by Tom Ingram, under pressure from the Burton Camaro, Mustang, my apologies, number 35.
There's the number 191 Lotus Cortina in the pit lane. Mark Home handing over to Nigel Greensall. Here are the three leaders on screen once more. Through Woodcote Corner. They're still staying out. Of course, we're using not using those pits, we're using the wing pits for this race, aren't we? So onto the straight into Copse Corner. And Benji Hetherington in 4th place, going nicely ahead of Mark, number 35 in 5th place is Mark Burton's Ford Mustang, and then in 6th place Tom Ingram in the, well, it's actually, yes, the leading Lotus Cortina at the moment, isn't it? Ahead of the number 193 car going well, Victor Israelson. And then we've got number 79, that's been in, hasn't it? Yes, it'll have dropped down from where it is at the moment then. It's just going out onto the track. Marcus Jewell yet to stop in number 170 Lotus Cortina, so he'll move up a place. Leading 3 cars onto Hanger Straight, still Craig Davis in the lead. Clearly the tactics being used by the solo drivers is to stay out as long as they can, but until they get towards the end of the window. But of course it's a 2-driver car, the Ford Falcon, so it must be fairly soon, I would have thought. Oh, down the pit lane goes Craig Davis. So Craig Davis coming in to make his pit stop now. The leader at the Alfa coming in to make his pit stop as well. They're both solo drivers, so there's no need to switch drivers. And can't see whether the Falcon has gone in. Don't think it has, actually. I think it's carried on. Anyway, watch those 2 cars down. There's the Mustang coming to a halt. And where's the Alfa going to stop? A bit further up the pit lane. Get a shot of it there. And also Benji Hetherington has come in with the Ford Mustang, the blue one with the white stripes over it. So close-up shot there of this. This is one of the real ex-Alan Mann Ford Mustangs, as you know by the registration number. So not many more laps for drivers to stay out without stopping. But Julian Thomas has stayed out. He's gone into the lead for the moment, number 192. And also staying out for the moment, Mark Burton in the number 35 Ford Mustang. He's another solo driver. And Tom Ingram is staying out as well in the number 4 Lotus Cortina. So 9, Craig Davis ready to go. Who will move first? The Alfa or the Mustang? Oh, we're not going to find out. There's the leader for the moment anyway, not the Mini, but the mustard yellow Ford Falcon behind it. Julian Thomas through Copse Corner, running a bit wide. You can see how the car wallows rather compared with the Alfa Romeo, which is much more stiff suspension. Passing you, Alistair, the leader for the moment.
Yes, got the leader on the one side at Beckett's, Julian Thomas, and the answer to your question about Mustang or Alfa out of the pits, it was Mustang. Craig Davis came out just ahead, but they're side by side coming through the loop. and this will be important later in the race when all the pit stops unwind, but Craig Davis remains in that position just ahead of the Alpha.
But who's that Mustang behind them? Is that Jake Hill?
166, I'm told.
That is Jake Hill.
Jake Hill, okay, yes, well spotted.
So Jake Hill has got ahead of the pair of them, and we've got Craig Davis with Olivier Hart right behind, but Jake Hill is now, I think I'm right in saying, yes, the leading pit stopper. Well, he didn't make the pit stop, Rob Fenn did, to hand over to him a little bit earlier than the other two stops, but the result is that we now have a fight for the lead, or it'll become a fight for the lead when the other cars ahead of them make their pit stops, between these two Ford Mustangs, with Jake Hill in 166 just ahead of number 9 Craig Davis, and Olivier Hart can sit back and watch the fun perhaps for a moment or three. Here they are, Alistair, passing you.
Yes, Jake Hill has got ahead, as you saw on the television pictures as they come through Beckett's. So it's Jake Hill from Craig Davis and then Olivier Hart, who doesn't seem to have an answer to the power advantage of the Mustangs through the twiddly bits where he catches up but just can't get on terms with them.
There is the Julian Thomas and now Callum Lockie Ford Falcon. Now Craig Davis going on the outside line into Stoke Corner. The question though is, will the Falcon get out in amongst them, or are they going to be ahead of the Falcon? Two Mustangs race side by side through Vale into Club Corner. It's Rob Fenn just, not Rob Fenn now of course, Jake Hill just ahead of Craig Davis. As they come out of Club, they won't go into, or they may go into the lead actually, because I think everybody else, no, Tom Bradshaw hasn't yet stopped in car 36. So he will be likely the leader. And Alan, news from the pits?
Well, only to say we've just seen Callum Lockie take over the car. Julian Thomas has just got out of the car with a smile on his face. Mind you, you're always smiling.
How much fun was that?
Yeah, you enjoyed that, didn't you?
Yeah, hilarious. I love that car. It's a hooligan.
Perfect conditions now, I would guess.
Yeah, thank God. Thank God it's dry.
Yeah, it's absolutely perfect. Well, what a field as well, Julian. What an eclectic field.
Unbelievable, yeah. You look up and down the field and there's so many lovely different cars, all fighting for the same place. It's great.
Super. Thanks for having a chat to us, Julian Thomas in pit lane.
Thanks, Alan. Well, we'll need another lap, I think, for the things to settle down, because the screen shows that that car, Julian Thomas, has just vacated and handed over to Callum Lockie, leads from Mark Burton in the number 35 Ford Mustang.
Well, I can give you an update on that, and I was about to say that Julian Thomas is just behind the leading group, but I'm afraid, not Julian Thomas, Callum Lockie, my apologies, he's pulled off. He's slowed on the Wellington Straight on his outlap, so a problem immediately. But the remaining cars that we're expecting to see together have been joined by Andy Wolff in the 113 Cortina, who pitted very early. So when they come back round to us, I think we're going to have, I think it's 4 or 5 cars in the lead group with the Alpha as well.
Okay, so bad news then for the Ford Falcon, although, as Julian Thomas said, he's had his fun. Mark Burton is also shown as being up, but I don't think he's going to appear on the leaderboard.
Well,
go on.
Leaders through Beckett's, and it is still Jake Hill. I say leaders, of course, we've still got some cars to pit, but they are the cars we think will be battling for the lead. And it's Jake Hill who's still just ahead of the similar Mustang of Craig Davis behind, and then the Alpha of Olivier Hart.
Everybody has now made the pit stop, but the effect of the pit stops hasn't yet unravelled, so we can't yet say for certain. We'll as they go over the line this time, and they're not far away finishing the lap because they're just going through Stoke Corner now. Like the way these Mustangs hang their tails out. They're side by side. Craig Davis running on the outside, Jake Hill on the inside as they come into Club. And we'll see that they are probably going to be the leading cars, unless Dave Edgecombe has stayed out long enough to hang on to the lead with his Mini, number 21. Through Club Corner, it's Jake Hill just ahead of Craig Davis. And the Alpha dropping back a little bit. But the positions that they're given on the timing screen suggest that they are in 4th, 5th and 6th places, because only now, late into the pits, has come Tom Bradshaw with the number 36 Lotus Cortina, number 36 Ford Mustang, Tom Bradshaw, and also 33 in late, not too late, but late in the window, Andrew Lawley with his Alfa Romeo Giulia Sprint GTA. So it'll be another lap before we have a true impression of the lead, but I think we'll find that unless Tom Bradshaw did mighty things, which is possible, it's going to be 166 leading 9, leading 11, and Andy Wolff, as Alistair said, coming into the reckoning, he was 6.7 seconds behind Olivier Hart at the end of the lap.
And he's got Benji Hetherington right behind him in the green Mustang, so he's under pressure from behind as well. And could Jake Hill take another win? Not quite the same circumstances as winning in the Elan, because he's got one of the big engine cars, but a great drive from Jake Hill to come through after that early stop.
Yeah, I think the early stop has helped him, but certainly he's had to overtake a large number of cars to get where he is, but it's not over yet, because Craig Davis is doing a sterling job there in the Mustang in second place, getting a bit of a wiggle there as he accelerated out at Copse Corner. Back with you, Alistair.
I'm afraid it looks like we've lost the Alpha. That's not with the leaders anymore. So the two Mustangs come through. There's a Mini to be lapped on the exit of Beckett's. That might favour Craig Davis, I think, of the two of them. But Jake Hill, very experienced driver, and just makes his way past the Mini on the exit. But the third place car is now a very sideways Andy Wolff, and then it's Benji Hetherington. So I'm sorry to say, Ian, being an Alpha lover, it's not there anymore.
No, we've got it on the screen now, and is it a puncture or something more mechanical than that? Anyway, it's parked at the side of the track, and Olivier Hart, I'm afraid, his race is run. And Alan, what can you tell us about the taxi?
Well, I've got the naughty yellow car next to me because everything was going so well. I spoke to Julian, everything was lovely. He was smiling from ear to ear, and Callum, you took the car over. What happened?
Just no power. It wouldn't go over 4,000 RPM in second gear. So, and I came out the pits, full power, right in behind the three leaders, and I thought, here we go, this will be good fun. And then it just wouldn't go.
Naughty yellow car.
Naughty yellow car.
It's not fair, is it?
Well, it's just the way it is. You know, these things happen.
Yeah, they do. Callum, thanks for having a chat to us. What a disappointment. Poor old Callum Lockie and Julian Thomas down in the pit lane, not smiling as much as they had been.
Last into the pits was Dave Edgecombe with the number 21 Mini. So briefly, that car has been on top of the leaderboard, but it isn't anymore. He's now made his pit stop. So that means that 166 leads. Jake Hill leads in the car started by Rob Fenn from the number 9 Mustang of Craig Davis. Andy Wolff in third place. It'll become, once they come through next time, with Dave Edgecombe having now made his pit stop. And then Benji Hetherington, number 999, closing in on Andy Wolff, but Andy Wolff in the leading under 2 litre car with the retirement of the Alfa Romeo. It's beginning to look as though, as they go through Luffield, Jake Hill just has the edge over Craig Davis, who was fighting so hard for several laps, but is now falling away slightly. Last time around, Jake did the new fastest lap of the race at 2:35.676, which is quicker than his qualifying time yesterday when he did a 2:36.409 to take pole position. So Jake Hill, possibly the track in a slightly better state now than it was when they were qualifying late yesterday. And Jake Hill now leads the race by 1.5 seconds nearly.
I think Craig Davis has got something to say about that, because he seems to have closed up a little bit as they come through Beckett's, and both of them very sideways as they go through that right, left, right. But looks as though Jake Hill has got it for the moment, but don't discount Craig Davis, very experienced in this car.
Down Hanger Straight for the 11th time. We've got 10 minutes to go. And you're right, Alistair, don't discount Craig Davis. He's fighting back, and for the moment they're clear of traffic, so there's no cars to be lapped imminently. And it's only now, though we've been focusing on them quite rightly, only now will they actually go back on top of the leaderboard because of the late stopping Mini of Dave Edgecombe, number 21. Actually left it until he was in the lead of the race. So over the line go the two Mustangs, and into the lead on the timing screen goes the number 166 Mustang from the number 9 car of Craig Davis. And Andy Wolff should be the next one through. Now, Craig Davis, certainly as they go through Abbey, that time I would say was much, much closer. Yes, he's just done the new fastest lap, Craig Davis. He's back with you, Alistair, right up with the leader.
Came out of farm on a very tight line, looking to get a big wide run into Village, and closes right up on Jake Hill as they turn through the left-hander at Loop. He's not in a challenging position there, but he's come within 1.5 car lengths, well no, a bit more than that now, as they come out of the corner, about 3-4 car lengths as they go down the Wellington Straight, but certainly a lot closer than it was last time around. Then it's a rather wide Andy Wolff in the Cortina in third place, and then Benji Hetherington, and Andy Wolff seems to have got the measure at the moment of Benji Hetherington.
Behind those two, you've got Richard Dutton just ahead of Steve Soper, at least you had at the start of the lap, whether that's still the case or whether Steve Soper in number 79 has now got ahead of Richard Dutton, number 30.
No, he hasn't, but I think he will do, because he was a fair way behind last time around. He's pulling out to look for a pass down into Brooklands in the Cortinas.
Of course, the leading Cortina is the car of Andy Wolff, Steve Soper having taken over from Mark Martin, the number 79 car, having moved his way up, well, about to move his way up into 5th place, and second of the Cortinas, second of the under 2 litre cars. And there's Andy Wolff. Andy Wolff in the number 113 Lotus Cortina in 3rd place, ahead of Benji Hetherington in the 999 car. Now, you've got a bit of lappery getting in the way of Craig Davis, I think, there, Alistair.
Yes, Jake Hill managed to just slip through past the Cortina in Beckett's just before the second element, but Craig Davis had to wait and go around the outside, so that might favour Jake Hill a little there with that manoeuvre. And just looking across to Beckett's once again, and Steve Soper is now ahead of Richard Dutton at Beckett's, so he's moved up a place.
Well, Craig Davis may have been slightly balked as he was lapping that slower car, but he's made up that lost ground just about as they come to the end of Vale. So this isn't yet over and done and dusted. Oh, and a spin there. Now, was the contact? I suspect there may have been. So the leader has spun, Jake Hill has spun, Craig Davis has got through. There may be a little bit of damage to the front of Craig Davis's car. And is the damage to the bodywork? I think there may be. There's rubbing on the tyre. Yeah, so there's damage to the left rear bodywork of Jake Hill's car, so I'm afraid it's ended in tears. And Jake Hill won't get much further. So when it looks as though he had things just about under control, Craig, there may have been, we may get a replay of that in a moment, but I suspect there may have been a little bit of contact. The damage to Jake Hill's car suggests that there was a tap from the front, and we're getting a replay now. Here they go into Club Corner. Craig Davis looks on the inside line, locks up a front wheel, and yes, there was. So I'm afraid, through no fault of his own, Jake Hill is out of the race. Craig Davis may be able to carry on, but certainly it was the front of his car that hit as it turned left, the left rear corner. Now, Jake may not be aware of the fact that he has got, you can probably see smoke coming out of the car by now because there's so much of it. So Craig Davis leads, Jake Hill is catching him, and I think almost Craig's guilty conscience is letting Jake through there. He didn't really make a fight of it, did he? Or maybe there's a bit of damage to the front of the car that's not preventing it, not enabling it to go quickly, but there is a real risk for Jake that he's going to get a puncture with that bodywork rubbing away on the tyre. And a decision really has to be taken whether to hang on in front or whether to be cautious and head for the pits. But that's what you can see. Damage on the left rear corner of the Jake Hill Mustang pushed the bodywork onto the sidewall of the tyre. Well, they're still in first and second place. Andy Wolff, of course, is much, much closer, Alistair, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He closed up as they came out of that incident, didn't they, as they were sorting themselves out. But Jake Hill's not letting a little bit of body rub getting in the way of driving that car absolutely on the door handles. He's drifting it through every corner. And I hope for our sakes and his that tyre lasts out for the rest of the race.
Under braking, as the car dives forward, the bodywork comes off the tyre, but then as soon as the G-force is applied to the car as it leads through the corner, so the bodywork rubs against the tyre once more. Onto the brakes, the bodywork tips forward, and the stops rubbing against the tyre. But then it begins again as the car leans, as he accelerates through the corner. So still leading, we've got 4 minutes to go. Will the tyre last that long? At the moment, it looks as though it will. Craig Davis content to sit in second place, really, now. I think he's decided that he was responsible for the incident. Not a deliberate biff at all. It's not what you might see in other series. It was just braking a little bit late. The front locked up on Craig Davis's car, and he couldn't pull out of the attempt to pass to avoid colliding with the car. There's a Mini to switch to something different. James Hagan's Mini. So it's being pushed away out of to a place of safety. Andy Wolff then in third place. Benji Hetherington is fourth. Steve Soper is fifth. Richard Dutton is sixth. Mark Burton, number 35, is seventh. Eighth is Sean Balfe. Ninth is Neil Brown. And 10th in the leading Mini is Ian Curley, number 46. Well, it seems to be a pretty robust sidewall, that's withstanding the bodywork rubbing against it. So Jake Hill continues to lead the way, and Andy Wolff is unlikely to be able to catch them, even though their pace. What are they lapping at now? Last time around, Jake Hill lapped at 2:38.1, his fastest lap at 2:35.4, and Craig Davis lapped at 2:42, his best lap at 2:34. So they are lapping slower than they're capable of. Benji Hetherington's last lap at 2:41 in the fourth place Ford Mustang. In a sense, Craig Davis would be disappointed with the situation, because it was a fair fight, very much a fair fight until then. And it wasn't exactly unfair on Craig Davis's part, it was just the way things turned out when the wheel locked up. And he doesn't really feel that he should be putting the pressure on Jake Hill, but he'll tour around behind. Now, is Benji Hetherington being caught by Steve Soper? Yes, I think he probably is. Yeah, I think Steve Soper could make it to fourth place. He's not going to catch Andy Wolff, but I reckon he's got a good chance of catching the blue Ford Mustang, which is just coming into and through Club Corner now. Now the leaders have gone on to their last lap. I think there you can see, yes, the two Dunlop engineers. One of whom I think, touching it by the back of his head, was John Pearson, who was very much involved in the Dunlop tyre supply business. Well, the leader, the tyre is going to last by the looks of things. Comes past you, Alistair.
Yes, and no more smoke from the leading car, so whether that's the tyre rubbed away a little bit or the bodywork has moved. Steve Soper goes past Benji Hetherington, but I think Benji might be in trouble. Yeah. He's slowed, but he speeded up again, so maybe just missed a gear there. But I think Steve Soper was going to pass him anyway.
The incident between the two leading cars is under investigation, but I think it's going to be academic, really, because no unfair advantage was ultimately gained, because he handed the place back, Craig Davis, and imposing a loss of place penalty is rather pointless. It's too late in the race to start thinking about drive-through penalties or anything like that, and it wasn't anything like deliberate. I'm sure, as we'll probably find out when they get onto the podium shortly, as they've only got half a lap now to complete before it's a Ford Mustang 1-2 as they come back into your sight.
Yes, through Maggots into Beckett's once again, and there's no doubt that Craig Davis is going to sit behind Jake Hill after that unfortunate coming together. But both cars still being driven with great verve, as is, of course, as always, Andy Wolff. And Steve Soper will get pretty close to Andy Wolff, I think, by the end, but I don't think he's close enough to get onto the podium. before they come round to you to take the flag.
Oh, and the tyre's failed. The tyre has failed on Jake Hill's car. Within almost sight of the checkered flag. He's running on the rim now. And so suddenly, that's where it happened to Lewis Hamilton or Nico Rosberg. No, Lewis Hamilton wasn't in the Grand Prix a few years ago, coming down Hanger Straight. And so Craig Davis is shepherding him along almost, saying, come on, Jake, come on, Jake. Andy Wolff is there in the middle of it as well. So as they come into the left-hander at Club, it's Jake Hill still in front on 3 wheels really now, or 3 wheels and a rim. In second place is, as they come through Club Corner, Jake's going to get to the flag. Craig Davis is in second place, and Andy Wolff is going to settle for third place. So up to the checkered flag they come, and so Jake Hill limps across the line. In second place, it is Craig Davis. In third place, Andy Wolff, and Steve Soper was closing up on them as well. So remarkable result there. The first 4 cars crossing the line within 1.5 seconds of each other. And Benji Hetherington wasn't that much further back either. So the win does go deservedly to Jake Hill and Rob Fenn's Ford Mustang on 3 wheels really, or 3 wheels and a wheel rim. Craig Davis finished 0.864 of a second behind in second place. Andy Wolff didn't get involved. He stayed behind in third place. And in fourth place we had Steve Soper in the number 79 Lotus Cortina, which he'd taken over from Mark Martin. Benji Hetherington took 5th place. Mark Burton was 6th, 7th Sean Balfe, 8th Neil Brown, 9th Ian Curley in the leading Mini, and in 10th place in the second of the Minis, number 244, Tom Bell. There we are, that's the result on the screen. The win goes to Rob Fenn and Jake Hill in the Ford Mustang. Second to Craig Davis' Ford Mustang. There is an inquiry going to happen, but be surprised if the result gets changed. Andy Wolff takes third place, wins the 2-litre class in the Ford Lotus Cortina. Fourth goes to Mark Martin and Steve Soper's Lotus Cortina, number 79. Fifth, the number 999 Ford Mustang of Benji Hetherington. Sixth, the Ford Mustang of Mark Burton. Seventh, the Lotus Cortina of Sean Balfe, number 34. Eighth, number 2 Lotus Cortina, Neil Brown. 9th, Ian Curley in the Austin Cooper S, number 46. And 10th, Tom Bell's Austin Cooper S, number 244. And now a chance to see some of the highlights of that race.
We have 2 podiums coming up for race 9 of the weekend, the Transatlantic Trophy for pre-66 touring cars. And it's quite fitting, really, that we've got first and second, because I think what we saw with second place was the spirit of Masters Racing. Craig Davis, congratulations, well done to him. Thank you very much indeed. And now to our winners, to Rob Fenn and Jake Hill, everybody. They hold the trophy high, get a huge cheer. Maybe the hugest cheer of the day for Rob and for Jake. They've got Masters caps from Ron Maiden as well. And what a race we just enjoyed. They hold the trophy up. Goodness me, the trophy's almost bigger than Jake. And now we get them all together on the top step of the podium. That's it, a nice sporting podium. And we'll have a chat to the drivers as well. And then we'll do our under 2-litre podium in a moment. But Jake, goodness me, hop down and talk to me. It was drama at this meeting for you last year, and drama, hang on, turn your back on the camera. We want to see you. And drama again, but you couldn't have written the script for that. A burst tyre and you finished on 3 tyres and a rim.
Yeah, well, first of all, huge congratulations to this man. I think, you know, we all should, for being a gentleman. You know, that never happens. So thank you, Craig, for being a nice man. And, yeah, thank you to Rob and obviously David and everyone with JDR crew for, making all this possible for me and Rob. This is brilliant. Our first win together and the Silverstone Classic.
If that had happened in a BTCC race, would you have done what Craig did?
Well, obviously...
That's a horrible question.
If he was right behind me, then yes.
We dressed the podium for the under 2 litres, and then onto the top step of the podium has gone Andy Wolf. He gets the garland of victory around his neck, and in 3rd place overall as well. And he takes the winner's trophy in the under 2 litre, and we get them all with their caps. Cap on, Mark. There we go. Perfect. Nice podium shot, front and centre. Smile for the camera. There we go. The cameras click away, and then all of the drivers will bunch up together, get a nice picture of all 3 of you. And that concludes our podium for the Transatlantic Trophy for Pre-66 touring cars.